Ho, 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 and welcome to the post-Christmas edition, last edition of 2024 of the Third and Long podcast. Hope you all had a lovely Christmas. We are rolling to 2025. My name is, of course, the incomparable Shane Harris. Above me is the OG, Mr. Oliver Butler Henderson, and to his right is our delectable, beautiful little baby Hope. And the other bloke looks like he's wearing a barcode. I don't want to talk to him. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Philip Perrins. I'll start from above me.
The barcodes are currently 2-0 up. Those
2-0 now. I can't be asked anymore.
I mean, the barcode is currently going to get kicked out of the group if he carries on going.
Tsunami.
Oh, well, Shane, it looks like it might be me and you time, mate. I might be kicking people off.
What is better up you are? Wait a minute, I'm more shocked about Phil actually having a can. What's going on, Phil?
This actually is a non-alcoholic shandy, so I've got like non-alcoholic.
Let me down. You're let down.
With diet
Such a letdown.
No, honestly, this is legitimately it. I bought. I will say this though: when I was in Iceland, that's why I haven't been on the last couple of shows, guys. When I was in Iceland, I had.
Were you in Iceland?
Yeah, no, I was in Iceland. Yeah, I didn't mention it at all. I had legitimately the best beer I've ever had. It was from a microbrewery in Reykjavik. They don't actually sell it worldwide, so you can only really buy it in like Reykjavik in Iceland. It was legitimately the best beer I've ever had. I'll post it up on our socials later if anybody's interested when they go to Reykjavik. It was phenomenal. But since I've been back, I've continued on my straight edge. It doesn't really count if you drink alcohol in Iceland because everyone's cold, so you burn it off instantly. So yeah, up the two.
Absolutely. How were our Christmas, gentlemen? How were they all? We'll start with the Welsh Wizard down in the bottom left-hand corner down there.
All I wanted for Christmas, was a Ravens win and a skull shaver. Luckily, I got both. So, happy days. Not too bad at all.
The only thing I remember about the Ravens game is Beyonce.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot. It was a heavy day for the Strongbow. I don't remember much. But all I know is we won. I actually won money, which is nice.
Nice. Mr. Perrins, you've changed your name.
Mr. Media Mogul, that's what I am.
You were Sunderland for a few minutes.
Nah, you've never seen a Mackham in Milan. Like, seriously, we're going back to Europe, mate. We're going back to Europe.
How was your Christmas, my friend?
Quiet. Just really, really quiet because we didn't get back until really, really late, just like the morning of Christmas Eve. So Christmas Day was just kind of like, quite nice and quite quiet. And then just been absorbing like the NFL and football and the darts. Oh my God. Like the last couple of weeks, I've just been addicted to the darts. And just before I'm coming on tonight, I literally was watching the darts instead of the Newcastle game. So I was like,
I was watching the Cross game either, mate.
The only thing that's genuinely missing is remember when the Sky Sports used to do the Masters?
Yep.
Like the little five-a-side,
Masters football, yeah.
That's the only thing that's missing from the Christmas package of sport that I've consumed. Like literally.
Oh God, yeah.
And I will say,
the strongest man as well. That's always on around this time of year.
The what? What's strongest man? That's tomorrow. That's tomorrow on Channel 5. No, not tomorrow. New Year's Day. Jimbo Richardson. Also, I will say this as well. I don't know if you covered it the other night. No, actually, we didn't because we haven't been on since Christmas. The Christmas coverage on Netflix, it did astronomical numbers because I was looking at the numbers of the games. It literally blew. I think Netflix
65 million over the two games.
Absolutely, which was ridiculous. So it kind of puts to bed that Christmas is NBA, Christmas is the NFL, and also there were no problems with the live coverage of the Netflix. Well, no, there was, like, in the grand scheme of things,
mine was spot
they had 2 weeks prior from like the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. They seem to have ironed out or had a better understanding with the NFL. So with 1 week away until Netflix go 100% live content every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Sorry. I think it's going to be really, really interesting going forward. So that was just a really, really.
Mine was a bit sketchy. It was either mum and dad's internet or my eyes after too many bows.
6-1 doesn't it? I mean, I thought the NFL absolutely the ESPN absolutely nailed it. You couldn't tell the difference. I know it was run through CBS's like productions in, but it was absolutely spot on. They were brilliant. It was really well run, well done. Excuse me. And I think Scott Hudson and Drew Brees were
Drew
brilliant.
Brees.
I think Cairden's when they went to her and her little group in the stadium, you had RG3, you had the guy who got catfished by his cousin. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Manteo, that was it. And the other guy.
Oh yeah, Manateo, that's right.
They were brilliant as well.
By his cousin, he got catfished by his cousin's friend.
That was it. I knew something along them ones. I mean, it was really good. I think ESPN is going to be away. They've looked at Amazon. They've done really well with Thursday Night Football. That's a great success now. Now they've gone into this as well. It was spot on. And before we go into the games, Beyonce was absolutely brilliant. That was better than any Super Bowl halftime I have seen in a long time.
It was better than the Ravens.
Absolutely nailed that.
Better than the Ravens.
I was smashing chocolate and cheese into me. I didn't even see it.
I love how Shane just lifted up the finger of how many playoff games the Ravens are going to win this year.
Oh my word! Sorry, playoffs? We're actually in the playoffs. Where are you lot this year? Your window's slammed shut. It's over.
Yeah,
we're number one. We're number one, baby.
Our facts prove that you can actually win in the playoffs.
You have nothing to say. You've lost this argument this season. You've got nothing.
No, because we can win playoff games.
No.
Again, this season, nothing.
Right. Let's head on to actually talking some football. Oh, Baby Hope, how was your Christmas? Sorry, my friend.
My Christmas was great, thank you. As always, I went up to near Manchester and I had a great day. And then literally have been very busy since. And it doesn't slow down.
Always the way with
Busy
Christmas.
man, see?
Mad. Who got NFL memorabilia or anything related NFL-wise Christmas? Gentlemen?
That's all I got, but I love it.
What did we get?
I got socks that say, "Do not disturb. I'm watching football," and have a little American football around the heel.
Nice.
Team's finest.
I got a mysterious San Francisco jersey that said Pearsall on the front, but it doesn't actually say the 49ers. It just says Pearsall. I'll wear it on Thursday's show in case anybody's
on the front. It says Pearsall on the front.
It just says San Francisco. Could be anyone from the Bay Area. And then I managed to, because I had some voucher money. I've actually purchased Madden this year because I didn't get EA 25.
The college game is better. You should have got NCAA.
Yeah, but I don't.
You've got to be into college football then, haven't you?
PS5, so I couldn't have played it.
Nice. I mean, yeah, I had a fairly decent Christmas myself. Fairly busy. Usual. I've seen my dad on Boxing Day. The kids here, there, and everywhere, crazy and all that. Got myself a nice Patriots jumper, which I haven't got on at the moment. I got my Boston jumper on, nice Patriots jumper on it. This is Patriots t-shirt. More importantly, I'm going to go see Lincoln Park in June.
Oh,
you what?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well done, love the other half got me Lincoln Park tickets. I'm absolutely
yes, Cal.
Where are you going to watch it?
Wembley. Their only UK gig at Wembley on June the 28th. So I'm absolutely buzzing.
Maybe in case you don't know, Linkin Park are a rock band that came out roughly around the early 2000s, just to make you aware.
99, and Hybrid Theory dropped in 99.
As I said, early 2000s.
Love it. Right. Let's actually talk about some football, shall we, gentlemen? Let's start off with the Chiefs securing the number one pick, or the number one in the AFC, giving the Ravens a chance to win the NFC North.
North.
This is the first time in 15 games, or the first time this season as well, that the Chiefs haven't won a game by more than one score. or one. Sorry, haven't won a game by less than one score, I should say.
This is
What
the only
did-
game that happened on Christmas, right?
Yeah, I think so. And then there was a Beyonce concert, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I watched Gavin and Stacey, then watched a Beyonce concert. I don't know about any football.
Nah, but they all watched. I had to watch the Ravens game and the Chiefs Steelers game in Mum and Dad's bedroom because they were all downstairs fawning over this Gavin and Stacey nonsense, right? So they all watched that, and then yeah, I was probably the only one in the street that was watching the football.
You're the only one who in the world that watches football because it's Ravens and nobody actually cares.
Completely
Fan
agree
base
on that
disagrees with you.
one. What do we make the game? So they gave Netflix gave their MVP players a ball, a special Netflix ball, and some looks like Santa cloaks. What did you make? So it was went to Mahomes and Kelsey. To be fair, who both had good games. What do we make of it, John?
I like the ball. I kind of want the ball.
I like the ball. The ball looked nice. Well, I actually watched it, and this team looked like the Chiefs of old. Chiefs won 29-10, as you mentioned, which basically put the Ravens in pole position to win the AFC North. Thank you very much for that, by the way. Yeah, Mahomes 2 for 3 touchdowns, 320 yards. They made it look easy against a team in the Steelers who, as much as I hate to say it, it pains me to say it, hurts my purple heart to say it, they're a good side this year.
Yeah.
They find a way of squeaking wins out, but then I think this is where maybe the Chiefs are putting their foot on the gas pedal at the right time now.
Completely.
I thought it was funny that Kelsey did the Tony Gonzalez celebration because he passed Tony Gonzalez for the most things, and Tony Gonzalez says he'll pay the fine.
Yeah. Yeah, he said that on Thursday Night Football, didn't he? He said he'll pay the fine. He said it live on Amazon. It's like,
they had a bit of discussion about it on Twitter, and Travis was like, "You said you'll help me out with the fine," and Tony Gonzalez was like, "Yeah, I got you, bro."
No trouble. No trouble.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it's not disrespectful. It's like Xavier Worthy. He got a 15-yard penalty for lifting his jersey up. It's like,
yeah,
really?
Yeah, but I don't know about that. The reason I think about that, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm looking too much into it, but it looked like he was sort of pulling up his jersey to show what he may have in his belt, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but he was showing it as right. Because it looked like he was shoveling Christmas presents. And they go, look, I've got this as my Christmas present. Like, it was like a show of what it could be, but look, I've got a WWE belt, or look, I've got a G.I. Joe belt or something like that. It doesn't mean it's what you think it is. I mean, they called it a super soaker, but it's the taunting penalties and the penalties like that are ridiculous. They need to go. NFL, what are you doing about these taunting penalties? I know you want to make more money, and that's how you make more money, by throwing flags and getting penalties.
Finding players, paying players, and getting half the money back.
That is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, the game I enjoyed the game. I think it's really good. No, I sat there and watched it.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch any NFL on Christmas.
Yeah.
What's a broadcast journalist to you?
We had it on because Noah's a KC fan and looked like he's about to win the fantasy football for a 13-year-old, about to beat a load of adults who's been watching football a lot longer than he's been alive. Right. Go on then, Shane. Lead us over to the Ravens, mate. Sorry, Beyonce.
Thank you very much. So, no, it was not about Beyonce. Christmas was not about Beyonce. Neither was Netflix. Neither was any of these games.
If Beyonce's there, it's about Beyonce.
100%.
Baby, I thought your headphones were actually glued to your head. Whenever I see you, you look weird without them.
Yeah, they just died, so.
Oh, no. See, how anyone swear we do this every so often, not twice a week. But I digress. Anyway, so yeah, Ravens rolled into NRG Stadium to beat the Texans 31 points to 2. Boys, what is going with the Texans this year? I mean, since Tank Dell went down, well, I mean, I say since Tank Dell went down, they haven't been really impressive this year anyway.
No,
they're 9-7 now. They won their division, but there's not really much competition in the division. I mean, they can play badly and still win the division.
But that's not exactly hard.
Sorry, what now?
I think the Niners could have won that division.
No.
Niners can't, like I said before, Niners can't be Lingeroff Titans at the moment.
Hey,
there
you go.
I mean, the Texans have been poor for a long time this season now. I think their record flattens themselves a little bit. If they didn't have such an easy division, they wouldn't be making the playoffs. There's teams that are sitting there with 11-4, 11-4 and 10-5 might not even make might even only just make the playoffs and 6th, 7th seed. And yet,
I think the Steelers, who will probably be the 5th seed, will be pretty happy with their matchup.
Yeah, whoever's going to be facing the Steelers, the Texans, happy days. I mean, the wins this season.
They got a first round bye, pretty much.
The wins this season, the Texans have had Colts twice. Colts are 8-8. The Bears
just lost to the Giants. Let's not forget.
The Bears, the Jags. Okay, they've beaten the Bills. That's the anomaly. The Patriots. Well, everyone's beaten the Patriots. The Cowboys. It depends which Cowboys turns up, and the Dolphins. Well, the Dolphins can't beat teams who are over 500.
Yeah.
It's not like they've gone and beaten Ravens, the Chiefs, the Packers, or the Lions. That's the teams they've lost to, mind you. The only team they've lost over poor are the Jets. And the Vikings. They've lost to good teams, but they've beaten very bad teams. Maybe
I think it's the manner they've lost to only score 2 points. 2 points.
Let's not forget
that's a shot shutout. That's 0 offensive points.
Yeah. Let's not forget. Okay, they had 4 days turnaround, but then again, so did Chiefs, so did Steelers, so did Ravens. But they had a 4-day turnaround when they had a guy who had a serious injury. And CJ Stroud's best mate, it affects you. I mean, you don't know, don't you, as well, Mr. Paynes? If one of your best mates has gone down with a serious injury, you struggle to focus for a couple of weeks game-wise.
I literally struggle in training when my mate's not there. Genuinely. Yeah. Especially if it's someone that you have a really, really good relationship with. So I've talked before about a mate of mine that I went to uni with, Matt, who's our quarterback, Jamie. I'm going to his wedding next year. And when he didn't turn up or when he was injured, I noticed one, I wasn't as happy because my mate wasn't there. And 2, the relationship that I had with him, well, I then have to have it with a different quarterback because our sync isn't there. It's Matt would always know that I would be free or open. So it's kind of having that different kind of relationship. So yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying that CJ can't adapt. He's an NFL quarterback. He's one of the top quarterbacks in the league, as we saw last year. But he's still very early in his career. He's going to have bumps. He's going to have dips. He's going to have to learn to adapt. And that's where all the great quarterbacks eventually kind of get their name set in stone because they can adapt. I mean, his name's kind of poison at the moment. But for years, everybody was saying that Aaron Rodgers' number 1 guy was
Davante Adams.
Not Davante Adams.
Yeah.
Jordy Nelson. Absolutely, he was his number 1 guy. And then, when Jordy left, Devontae came in, and that's when he became his number 1 guy. It's the same with Tom Brady. Tom went for a plethora of great wide receivers, from Wes to Randy to Julian. He had great. Sorry,
Gronk as well.
Gronk as well. Absolutely, yeah. I'm not ignoring the tight end. He was a great player for him. And then we see Pat Mahomes doing the same thing now. So CJ just needs to learn to trust other people, because when you stop trusting your other players, or you're second guessing yourself because you don't have that relationship, that's when mistakes do happen, as we're seeing with a lot of young quarterbacks this year.
Maybe
injuries are a part of the game.
Yes.
Next man up. And if CJ Stroud can't learn to play when his mates are injured, then I don't think he's going to last very long in this league. I'm sorry to sound heartless, but if you can't play when your mate's injured, then you can't play in this league.
No, I agree with that one. You've got to. I mean, Rodgers. The thing is, the difference in Aaron Rodgers will get there with his teammates and trust his teammates. It might take them 18 months a season a bit, but he'll get there. But CJ Stroud, you've got to get there really quickly. You've got Nico Collins, you played with for last year, who is one of the best wide receivers in the league at the minute. Yes, Tank Dell is your best mate. You've still got Bobby Woods, who still does it in this league week in, week out. You've got Dalton Schultz, he's a top tight end. He's probably best inside the Ravens tight end at the moment.
I don't think there's a probably in there.
Yeah, true.
We were on about the Ravens-Texans game, and you just decided to go off on a tangent. I mean, yeah, I don't blame you. Nothing consequential happened. Ravens win as they're supposed to. They conceded 2 points on a safety. Jackson, like I said, 2 for 2 touchdowns. So Derek, actually, he ran one in for himself. Mark Andrews caught one, and Isaiah Likely caught one. So, yeah, boys, as I said, Cleveland 9:30 Saturday night now, last game of the season. Carry on.
Why have they put such a inconsequential game on Saturday night? And I'm only saying
There were 2 of them on.
No, there's only one.
There's one of
No, the AFC.
The NFC North is wrapped up on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
It's
AFC North is wrapped up on a Saturday night. Yeah.
The reason we went on the tangent, it's not really a tangent because it's about CJ Stroud and how the Texans have struggled. That's not really a tangent. That is a segue, my friend.
And
my apologies. Carry on.
This also conversation is going to happen on the Across the Pod episode I want in a couple of days.
Yes, Mr. Parents.
Just hindsight being like a wonderful thing as well. People said last year that the Texans greatly, overachieved from what was supposed to be their rebuilding year. Nobody expected them to be as good, as quick at the box as they did under D'Amico and CJ. Maybe this season, their sophomore season, is actually the realization of where they probably are in that development.
100%.
Like a second-year head coach, a second-year starting quarterback who's going to be a star for years and years and years to come. Like maybe this is where they should be at 9-7, as opposed to being, top dogs competing with, the Ravens and the Steelers and the Chargers and the Chiefs. Like maybe this is where this iteration of the Texans should be. And there's nothing wrong with that. Let's be honest. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no pressure on D'Amico this year.
No, definitely not. Second year in the playoffs. Yes, you're going to be probably more likely to be one and done this year, unless you could find something. Who knows? Right. Thursday night football. Yeah, that was a bit of ball fest. The Seahawks win a kickathon 6-3.
I forgot that was even on.
The Chicago Bears. Yeah, that was probably the worst way to end a Thursday night football season. Poor Amazon. They paid all this money and they get that game. Thank you.
The super fan. That's childish. Accurate, but childish.
Oh, I think Dave coaches is better.
What do you mean, Dave?
I liked Uncle Bryn.
Yeah, I like Uncle Bryn as well.
Boys, grow up with this stupid Gavin and Stacey nonsense. It's all over now. They're milking that franchise as much as they can.
I'm Bryn in Welsh.
Definitely. Right.
Oh, because I'm Welsh, I go like that and rugby. Lovely.
Let's start with the Saturday games. And you can see my name. I've changed it. Yes. Right.
You were Mayo, Alexander Belt, and Dave coaches by it.
No, it's our DC. His initials is DC. Collingham. I can't remember his name off the top of my head now. That's really bad. Right, we have gone from a top 5 defense to.
I don't know why he's going on Colleen Wolfe either. I think she's a decent presenter.
Yeah. So we've gone right from a top 5 defense last year to ranking 28th to 29th, and even 30th in some of the columns. We are the 31st worst rush defense in the league, giving up Carolina's only giving up more yards per game. We've given up more third downs. We can't defend in the red zone. I know you're a first-year defensive coordinator, but there's so many first-year defensive coordinators that step up and play incredible football.
Zach Orr.
Hey?
I said Zach Orr.
Yeah.
Yay! He's praising us for a change. Must be Christmas.
Oh, I mean, your defensive coordinator is absolutely outstanding, mate. I said that to you a couple of weeks ago. He was brilliant.
First year.
All we've done is lost Judon, Barmore. We've got Gonzo, who's one of the best corners in the league, and yet you're giving up more yardage, giving up more runs. You don't know where to blitz. When you are blitzing, you're only blitzing 3 or 4. And you're giving the quarterback all the time. Look, Justin Herbert, I think, could have thrown for nearly 400 yards extra on Saturday. Easily. Gerald Mayo, you ripped the team apart after London. Fair play. Love that. You called them out. Brilliant. Superb. But then you don't back it up. Leaked out that he said on Friday or maybe Saturday, I can't remember exactly what day. It might be Friday their time, Saturday our time. That Ramondre Stevenson was going to be benched and Antonio Gibson was going to be the starter. First snap of the game, Antonio Gibson sat on the bench and Ramondre Stevenson starting.
Mm-hmm.
You said you were going to bench Stevenson for his consistent fumbling. I know, have the ball again. Carry on. Not calling plays at the right time. Alex Van Pelt, yes, you have developed Drake May. You've done well in getting Drake May better and you include in that. But some of your play calling is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely stupid play calling. Let's go for a little dump over the middle where we need 15 yards. Oh, no, we've missed the third down. Great. Love that. Elliot Wolf, you've got to go. You've just seen Lad McConkey literally go for 1,000 yards this season in your home. Lad McConkey was the 34th pick in the draft. We traded with LA Chargers the 34th pick. They picked Lad McConkey. And we end up with Jalen Polk and Javon Baker, who has had as many yards in a season as Lad McConkey had against us on Saturday night. And I don't even think the Chargers got out of third gear. They were so much better than us. I mean, I'm not one to go, right, get out after the first season because it is a rebuild. We are in a rebuild. You've got your franchise quarterback. Superb. Love that. You've got Jacoby Slett, who's done and helped train him up and all that. But it's ridiculous. It's not good enough where we are. 3 wins. You had 4 wins last season. You should be aiming for 6 or 7 this season. Minimum. You've got the key components. You know, Keishon Booty has come back and played incredibly well the last 6 weeks. Hunter Henry's played well. Austin Hooper's a good tight end. Demario Douglas is a good wide receiver. He's going to be this sort of slot receiver in there. Unless you do something drastic, Elliot Wolf, like go get T. Higgins or go and spend a lot of money, because we've got 135 million cap to spend in the summer, in the off season. Go and spend that bloody money. Needs to be done instantly. Otherwise, it's going to be another mess, an absolute mess again. But yeah, Chargers blew us out of the water, and they didn't even get a third gear. They were outstanding. Rant over, gentlemen.
OBH, you sound very entitled. The fact that you're a Pats fan and a United fan, you sound very entitled. I know the feeling.
I sat there yesterday and watched Cheltenham play. Oh my God, Ipswich just got 2-0 against Chelsea. I sat there yesterday and watched Cheltenham play Notts County, and Notts County would play better than Cheltenham do. It was probably the game of the season, 5-3, absolute brilliant game, end to end. I don't mind watching that kind of football because it's entertaining and all that. I know what you're going to get. And I understand United were in the rebuild at the moment. And I understand Patriots were in the rebuild at the moment. But you've got to see some kind of progress. And I'm not seeing progress. I'm seeing decline. And you got the same defense as last year. Duggar's a top safety. Gonzo's probably going to be one of the best corners in the league. Keon White is now calling people out saying things are going to change. He's a second-year player.
I think it's kind of funny that you're a United fan and a Patriots fan because they're both as delusional as each other, thinking their players are good.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? It's brilliant.
Duggar's a top safety. Maybe in the top 20. Maybe. Gonzo's a great corner. He's not shown it this season.
Hang on. Yes, he has. He's shut down loads of wide receivers this year. How many yards did your lot get against him? About 25.
How many points did we score against you?
Yeah, well, that doesn't matter. He can't cover 11 other positions on the pitch, can he?
Yeah, but so
you got two franchise players in this team.
Great defensive players elevate their the players to play among them. Fred Waller.
Yeah, but he can't raise it all on his own, can he? He's a second year. He's only really just played over season because he only played 4 games last year because he tore his. I want to say did his ACL, but it could be.
No, Gonzo is a good corner, but I don't think he's a great corner yet.
That's what I said. He's going to be a great corner. I didn't say he's a great corner. He's going to be a great corner.
I don't think Duggar is a top safety.
Right. Enough of my rant. Has any of you gentlemen got anything to say about it, or shall we go on to probably game of the week or one of the games?
Well, I mean, it's another one where you're still in a rebuild, and the rebuild hasn't gone the way that even I thought it would go. Because I know when we were talking about like prediction at the start of the season, I thought you'd get to 7 wins. Like I was one of the few people in this square table that actually thought that the Patriots would be the better of the sum of their parts. Because of like that new bounce, that new energy, it is going to take a while to get rid of, and I do not mean this disrespectfully, the stink of Bill Belichick, because he is that organization and was that organization for over 20 years. And it's the same thing that, not to kick a horse when it's down, but the same thing that you're finding with Manchester United. When you have a long-serving, successful person in charge who literally control the whole organization, it's going to be difficult for that transition. It is. It's very rarely you actually ever see it succeed. And you're going to have the number 1 pick overall in the draft. Now, this is where you're thinking. No, this is where you're thinking now from like an ownership and a general managership. Because you're already set at quarterback, do you maybe then trade that first pick for extra picks, like to get more young, cheaper talent? I mean, the Patriots aren't in any kind of like dire need for saving cap space, but this actually could benefit, the shot on the arm of that rebuild that you so desperately need. So, what?
Sorry, just seen Tank Abbott.
But do you see where I'm coming from? Like,
yeah. No,
so
I completely agree.
You do stick with Mayo for another year, and then I generally think that you should trade away the first pick overall and get those extra picks because you don't need a quarterback.
No, I mean I would. So I've seen a rumor fly out today that New England Jets would trade Garrett Wilson, who wants out of New York, for that number 1 pick and a few extra picks. Yeah. Take that in a million days because Garrett Wilson is a WR1 in 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
And he's proven in this league.
He's definitely a first-round talent.
Yeah, exactly. And
do you want to trade the number 1 pick? Not necessarily to New York, but
because what do we need? A wide receiver or a tackle?
Do you want Debo?
No.
No.
I want even Calvin Banks. I don't want Travis Hunter. He's an outstanding player and he's going to be a corner in this league. But I don't want Travis Hunter. I want a genuine WR1.
You can have Debo.
He's not an out and out number 1. He's an out and out what? He's an out and out WY1. Yeah. Right. Game of the week, in my opinion, was Broncos Bengals.
Potentially even game of the season.
Oh my god, yeah. 2 quarterbacks absolutely especially that last quarter, throwing it, flinging it, proper gunslingers. Bengals fighting for everything to stay into the AFC Championship. And Denver just doing what they can to hold it off and try and fling them back.
It was kind of a weird game because the first half was so defensive. It was such
very cagey, wasn't it?
And then, like in the last like quarter and a half, it was like safety's gone off. Now we're both just going to throw the ball as far as we can every play.
Yeah, I mean Joe Burrow's went for over 400 yards. If that is T. Higgins' last game in Cincinnati, 131 yards for 3 touchdowns. Wow. And the one that he is in the corner.
Yeah.
And then you got Mims in the corner as well. And he had Mims going in the other corner. It was ridiculous. There wasn't a normal a normal touchdown. It was absolutely brilliant catches in the corners of the end zone. You know, Bo Nix has got a massive future in this league.
Yeah,
I mean, his interception, he was hit. He couldn't do anything about that. The ball was tipped, and it just literally went shunk.
I wasn't very high on Knicks coming out the draft, and I'll put my hands up and say I was totally wrong. This kid's a star.
So yeah, Baldy from Baldy and the Big Fellas mentioned quite a few times saying Drake May and Bo Nix will be the best two quarterbacks coming out of this league, out of this draft class. I think Jaden Daniels got something to argue with that, but they are definitely going to be very, very high in this league for a long, long time. I can see that going forward now. Shane, what did you make of your divisional rivals, my friend?
Any other year, Joe Burrow would be in pretty much a shoe-in for offensive player of the year. He's been absolutely
MVP.
incredible, boys. He's so exactly, and that he's so in multiple. He's had multiple games with multiple touchdown passes to multiple different receivers, and as you said, with T Higgins' last potential game in Cincinnati, it may have been over the weekend. What a way to go out! 11 receptions, 131 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Boys, it's not very often where games like this, you don't think, it's not going to be anything, it's going to be inconsequential, nothing interesting. But games like this shock you. And it was a fantastic knockdown, drag-out fight. As you said, the first half was a little bit cagey. There was 10 points scored between both teams in the first half. But after that, both teams were just like, let's just throw balls to the wall and see what happens. Yeah, there was 14 points scored in the last quarter for both teams, 28 points. It was bonkers. And I think, again, I've said it before, games like this are a good advert for this league. This is what this league is. This is what it's all about, the excitement, like what's going to happen next, who's going to win this game. It's a great game for the neutral. But yeah, the Bengals are still in with a fighting chance in the playoffs.
So, Joe Burrow's stats this year, 4,641 yards. First, 42 touchdowns. First, 8 interceptions thrown. There's only been 4 starters who's thrown less interceptions than him. Can you name him? When I say 4 starters, has started more than, say, 15 games. I mean, if the person sat below me does not get it, he can't call himself a Ravens fan.
I mean, Lamar's there, but Phil's Shane's then calling him MV3, and he's not even the best quarterback in his division.
Well,
Lamar's
I'm sorry, I
only
look at the
thrown-
numbers,
right.
but
Lamar's only thrown 4 interceptions. Okay.
yes.
His
Russell
Mahomes-
Wilson's played 10 games, but he's thrown 5. Josh Allen has thrown 6 interceptions. And then you got Joe Burrow. So really 3. He's tied with Matt Stafford and Dak Prescott and Bryce Young.
Yeah, but Dak Prescott barely played a game this season.
Yeah. Dak Prescott's played 8. So, and Caleb Williams. Sorry, he's thrown more interceptions than Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams has thrown 6. So it's literally, he is one of the, if not the best quarterback in this league this year. And yet he's not even in the conversation for MVP. Don't get me wrong, I banged that bloody Josh Allen to win the MVP drum this season because I think Josh Allen, what he's done in Buffalo has been outstanding.
I think a lot of us do.
Saturday night football, probably another ball fest in a 13-9.
Don't think we need to talk about this game.
No, in a 13-9 win for the Rams. Results going their way in Sunday football means they have clinched the West in the NFC West, meaning they are in the playoffs. The Buffalo Bills put a 40-burger clinching the number 2 seed in the AFC. With Aaron Rodgers being benched midway through the 4th quarter. Probably his penultimate, if not his last game in New York. The Raiders pushed themselves further away from that number 1 spot and further away from Shadon Sanders with a 25-10 win over the New Orleans Saints. Yes, mate.
Just a quick one. I won't spend too much time on this because I just wanted to mention about the Raiders. Aiden O'Connell looked really, really good. And Derek Carr against his former team did not. So I think...
Derek Carr didn't play.
Derek Carr didn't play as Butler.
Well, just in general. Derek Carr does not look good. And I think Minshew will not be in LA next year. Sorry, I'm not off the train,
Vegas.
but I'm looking at the next stop to get off.
Stop it, Phil. You're breaking my heart.
Don't break my heart.
But I do think they'll get rid of Antonio Pierce by next Monday. I don't think he'll be there next year. It hasn't worked out. I mean, they're going to have a serious conversation about, do they want to keep this current iteration of the Raiders, or do they want to trade away Max Crosby? And that is a big question that the ownership and the GM are going to have to answer for in the off season. But like the Saints look really, really careful. I don't know if anybody watched the game. They were not a very, very good team, and they made a also not very good team look considerably better.
The only good thing about that game was that trick play.
I'm really sad Carr didn't play, because if Carr had lost, he would have been the only quarterback that had lost to all 32 teams.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I also think Derek Carr is going to be in San Francisco next year as a backup.
I don't think Derek Carr is going to be. I think there's probably quite a high chance that Derek Carr won't be in the league next season.
That's handy,
I
boys,
think he'll be
because
there
you
for
know the
next
help
year.
you
I
can
think
get.
his cap space is too big. New York Giants, with their win, has pushed them out of the number 1 spot. They are now number 3, or number 4, actually. It's unlike
Who's number 2?
Tennessee, and then it's Cleveland, and then it's New York. Drew Lock looked good, though.
He did.
He looked really good. I mean, if you're not sold on the quarterbacks in this draft, I mean, I'm not sold. Cam Ward is possibly a first rounder, but I wouldn't be happy. Wouldn't be too surprised if he slips to the second round. New York, roll with Drew Lock for a season. Put more weapons around him, because you've got a rookie wide receiver who's gone for over 1,000 yards, a rookie running back who's gone over 1,000 yards this year. Build around them 3 players for a year, and then put a quarterback, because next year you've got a chance to have Arch Manning in 2026.
Do we actually think Arch Manning is going to be a star, though?
Ewers is going, isn't he? I've heard Ewers is entering the transfer portal.
I thought Ewers was in the draft.
He hasn't declared, I don't think. I think he wants to be traded, because I think Ewers wants. If he doesn't, he's going to want to be in the transfer portal. So yeah, Joe Flacco, he can still sling a ball, but he's as inaccurate as always.
As always, you lot better.
That's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get with him, unfortunately. Right, Cowboys, Eagles. Kenny Pickett goes down. Tanner McCann throws his first touchdown pass.
Okay.
Conor McKee?
Yeah.
AJ
AJ Brown launches the ball into the crowd, realizes it was Tanner's first touchdown pass, goes, oh no! Goes back, sees the guy who caught the ball, gets the ball back off the guy, goes, look, I will give you my shirt. And literally after the game, goes to the shirt, signs his shirt, gives it to the guy. Class act by AJ Brown. Love that one.
It was Brady all over again, wasn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely love that one. Yeah, well, I think that guy got fleeced. But yeah, fair play to AJ Brown going, yeah, I'll give you my shirt. I mean, they've got to pay for these jerseys if they give them away.
Yeah, but AJ Brown is not exactly short of money. He got paid.
I know that. But yeah, 41-10. Dallas, I thought this could have been an upset, but Dallas looked poor. So poor. Panthers, Buccaneers. I'm trying to remember what the prediction game was.
Very quickly, before we move on from the Eagles and Cowboys game, I just want to say really quickly, Saquon Barkley broke 2,000 yards. The only thing he didn't do was score a touchdown yesterday. Cheers, bet. You cost me 2 bets on the bounce now, and you're starting to do my head in. But yeah, kudos to him.
So he needs 101 yards to break Dickerson.
Yes.
Dickerson, that was it.
Is
Rushing.
Is he going to play?
Against New York Giants.
Yeah.
Is he going to play, though?
No, they'll have Gainwell, I expect.
He doesn't need to.
They took him out of the game with 10 minutes to go against
Dallas. I know.
Why would you have done that, parent? If your guy needs 100 yards, would you have gone, right, okay, he's not going to play, we can rest him next week. Would you have taken him out of the game?
No, you give it, if you've got the game in the bag and you feel very comfortable, you literally give your guy the best opportunity to make history. Like that's genuinely it. Like if you know, and we see this in the league quite a lot. It happened quite a lot last year with San Francisco as well, where they kept trying to feed the ball to McCaffrey to give him that record, like to make sure that's exactly what you would do as a coach. You want to obviously win as a team, and your main focus and priority is to make sure the team wins. But when you feel comfortable, you want to give individual accolades, because to that particular player, that's going to mean the world to them. That makes that particular kind of moment changes from a good career into a Pro Bowl, into a Hall of Fame career.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I stand on it.
Right, first prediction game that wasn't on a Saturday. On the Sunday games was the Panthers against the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield, 359 yards, 5 touchdowns, and pushing them to the number 1 seed in the NFC South, gentlemen. How do we feel about this game?
Is balling.
5 TDs, like.
Yeah.
I know.
I think Mike Evans scored 2. Did he? 2 or 3?
Yeah, Mike Evans got 2. Jalen McKinnon got 2. Who's Noah's wide receiver, and put him in charge of the fantasy football.
Mike Evans helped me beat Shane.
Mike Evans,
7th place.
Mike Evans needs 85 yards to break a fight. 86 yards side to continue his 1,000-yard season for 11 seasons on the bounce. Can he do it next week?
I hope so.
I love Mike Evans. I think he's quality. I really do think he's the best thing about this Bucks offense. Boys, a little bit randomly, there was 2 years ago in Carolina, they had 2 very good quarterbacks under contract. One was Baker Mayfield, and the other one was Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
that's crazy, isn't it?
I saw something that it was said a couple of years ago. Baker Mayfield was playing scout team defensive tackle for the Panthers. Yesterday, he put 5 touchdowns on them.
That's ridiculous, isn't it? That was Baker Mayfield, like literally swagger, attitude, going 2 fingers to that organization. He can't be that head coach because it wasn't his head coach. But yeah, Carolina again put over 200 yards or allowed over 200 yards rushing.
The other thing is Joel.
Oh my god, yeah. Isn't he? No, he's not a rookie. Yeah, he's a rookie as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh my, he's playing.
I think he was undrafted.
Hey?
Was he undrafted?
Yeah, he was undrafted as well, or late round. He's brilliant. He's come on as this season's gone on and on. He's got better and better and better. It's been outstanding.
I've left him on my bench for most of the season.
So good job it's not a keeper league.
Yeah, I waved him in too.
Did you? Oh, yeah. Wow, that'd be the 15th round pick. Yeah, Baker Mayfield, outstanding. You do not want to play Tampa when Baker's in this mood.
Only I'm GM, I could always change it.
So am I, actually.
Yeah.
Both commissioners. Yeah, outstanding. Absolutely outstanding again. Yeah, again, you don't want to play Baker. Definitely not. Jags Titans, Mr. Perrin's pick.
I thought it was an actually decent game. I don't know if anybody else thought the same thing. I thought Mason Rudolph played all right. And also McCorkle playing well in playing cold in wet weather, which kind of makes it, I guess passable that, he did win the occasional game in New England in cold and wet weather, but he hasn't been able to win anything in warm weather. So I guess it kind of like balances itself out.
True.
In the aftermath of it, there is huge kind of like talks in Jacksonville about them moving on from general manager Trent Baalke. And again, if 49ers fans and even Jags fans know, he is not a particularly well-liked person of any administrative staff. He is incredibly toxic. He's not particularly great in terms of like a people manager. And it seems like there is extra trouble in Jacksonville. But considering that both Khans aren't really hands-on football people, I don't know whether or not this is going to drag on and on and on. But it seems very much like a lot of issues are stemming from, again, Trent Baalke in the Jacksonville office. Baby, do you know any more about this?
I've not really looked into it, so I can't say.
I mean, fans were cheering for his head. I mean, if you listen to it on the YouTube channel, they've actually, like, on certain plays, they've actually muted it. But like when I was listening to like the unfiltered stuff that was on X and Instagram, you can actually hear fans chanting for Trent Baalke to be fired. And how often do you hear general managers being cheered to be fired? Like normally it's like head coaches or quarterbacks. You never ever hear a general manager be told that he should be sacked.
Yeah, it's interesting, that one, isn't it? I know there's a lot of call on the social medias for New England to have Elliot Wolf, removed from a GM details, but yeah, you don't hear it very rarely hear it on the GMs. It is rumored in the game side. You do hear it from on the social media side of things going, oh, he's got to be sacked, he's got to be sacked, he's got to be sacked. But you very rarely hear it in the stadiums for players being, or coaches or GM sides being sacked. Gentlemen, would you take Mac Jones as your backup in San Fran?
Yes.
Or Baltimore?
Oh yes, 100%. Yes, I take Minshew at this point. Josh Johnson, what's that about?
I think McCorkle. If San Francisco were to bring him in, I still think Kyle will still have QB1 as Brock Purdy. But like, I think, I don't know. The more this has gone on, baby, and I don't know whether or not you agree or disagree, but I'm starting to think that maybe Kyle probably wanted Mac years and years ago now instead of Trey.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
Like as it's gone on, I'm thinking that Trey wasn't necessarily Kyle's pick, but more of a John Lynch pick.
Yeah, I think Lynch. I think Lynch probably wanted Trey a lot more than Shanahan did.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can see that
if you remember, it came out the draft that Niners wanted Mac.
Yes.
That's why they traded at the 3, because they wanted Mac Jones.
Yes.
So they did see him as the viable quarterback in this draft class. And I do think he could have a Sam Darnold-esque career.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, and it's the big thing about like the success of the under Baker and Sam Darnold, is that they were both in terrible organizations that since they've left, they have continued to be terrible with the Jets and the Browns. And yes, it didn't work out for them in Carolina. And yes, Darnold came to San Francisco and sat behind Brock. And yes, Baker sat behind Matt Stafford in the Rams. But they've both gone to their now respective organizations as starters. Again, Sam wasn't expected to start the season. Like, he wasn't expected to start. He was expected to, like, redshirt it. But he's literally made it his own. They are a dominant team in the NFC, and they're doing really, really well. So I think the question needs to be culture. The culture can make a player flourish as well as flounder. And I think both quarterbacks have found their homes in Sam Darnold and, Baker Mayfield. Maybe Mac comes to San Francisco and sits, and then maybe wait this time again. This isn't the first time a quarterback has sat behind another quarterback and waited for their time, and when it's come, they've grabbed it by two hands. I mean, in the history of the NFL, I mean, without Drew Bledsoe going down, there is no Tom Brady. Without Alex Smith going down the way that he did, Patrick Mahomes didn't come in like he did. Without Brett Favre having a little hissy fit, Aaron Rodgers doesn't come in. Like, it happens so many times in the NFL. Even the 49ers history, Joe Montana goes down, Steve Young comes in. Steve Young goes down, Garcia comes in. Like, and it just happens all the time. So maybe, I'm not saying McCorkle should be the San Francisco 49ers starting quarterback, but I think it's a fit that Kyle would look at and go, I could probably use something like that because it gives Brock some legitimate competition. Because as much as we like Josh Dobbs, he's not competition, let's be honest. No. The only time he's ever going to play is when he turns on his Xbox and puts Madden on. Like, that's literally
I'm starter.
Exactly. He's literally even changes his stats as well to make him better than Brock. I could see legitimately that just the way that Kyle wants to take, and he's got a better arm than Brock. I love Brock, but Mac has a better arm.
Wow. I'd never thought he'd say that.
I love Brock Purdy. I'm just saying Brock Purdy is my guy, but Mac does have a better, stronger arm.
Yeah, I saw him fling a couple that was like literally 40, 50 yards. It's like he wasn't allowed to do that in New England.
Mm.
And it's like this guy can actually fling a ball. And it feels like, especially in his second years. But when McDaniels was there, he was let him opened him up and let him like play more like he did at Alabama. But when it was Matt Patricia, and I can't remember who the other OC was, but it was a diabolical choice. It was Matt Patricia last year. I can't remember who the second year was. They stifled Mac. Now this is where you go and you learn and you sit and you improve. Baby hope.
This might be a really stupid question, but it's just popped to my head. What happened to Bill O'Brien at the Patriots?
Bill O'Brien was the third year. That was it. He's now head coach of Boston College.
Okay. Did he leave with Belichick?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have taken Bill O'Brien as our OC as our head coach, to be fair. Just for a bit of stability and someone who's been there as a head coach. But hey ho. Browns season continued to implode. They are now the third pick in the NFL draft, and the Dolphins keep their slim playoff hopes alive with a 20-3 win in Cleveland. That got a bit dicey at times. What looked like to be a Vikings blowout at the start until the last quarter. This ended up being quite a game.
It did.
You knew it would be.
Yeah.
Darnold looked impressive.
Yeah, until that one pick.
Yeah. What's his name? Jordan Love didn't look impressive until the final quarter.
Yeah. 100%.
So it was kind of a bit of a weird game because the Vikings dominated the first three quarters, and then the Packers woke up in the final quarter. But then it was a bit of a too little, too late, and the Vikings were able to victory formation it out.
Yeah, because they were halfway through the third quarter. Jordan Love was 8 from 10 for 64 yards. And then they started to go, but let's play some football. I mean, Aaron Jones was living it up.
Yeah,
every
but
time he got a first down,
him not
every time
scoring,
he got a first down, he'd let those Packer fans in that stadium know.
him not scoring a touchdown.
I didn't put him in mine. Jalen Naylor had a game though, 5 receptions for 81 yards. I say you have a game, a touchdown pass where literally that was one of the biggest blown coverages going. He literally walked behind a safety and went on through it that way. Mr. Harris. Sorry, Tank Abbott.
I have a I don't even know who did that, but I love it. As we go to reference 10 points to you. In all honesty, who would you say is the true WR1 in Minnesota? Because, I mean, everyone would say Justin Jefferson, but Jordan Addison has had an incredible season. It's not very often there goes a game without him scoring at some point.
Jefferson, because he takes coverage away from Addison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd essentially call it like 1A, 1B. That's the only way that you can think about it. JJ, because as what you said, baby, often if you watch their spread, he will be double teamed. Like he will have 2 people on him, which gives Addison that extra, even like it's a 1-on-1 or even like some pretty good kind of like zone leverage that he can have. So I think because of and you see this quite a lot in the NFL, especially on the offensive side, when you have an unstoppable superstar that's established, they are going to be double teamed. They are going to be triple. We've seen on offense and defense. You know, both is always.
Just watch Jamar Chase.
Yeah, like Jamar Chase. He literally has always got double 3 people on him. So it's not necessarily a shock that these superstar wide receivers like your JJs, even your Tyreek Hills this year. Tyreek Hill has not had a productive season considering that he was the number 1 player in the NFL coming into it because obviously he has a ton of kids that are weighing him down, but also the fact that teams are going double coverage, but also in zone because of how quick he is. So you will find that these players will have, contingencies put in place to be able to, stop them or slow them down. But at the same time, you're also giving the opportunity for someone else on the team to make big plays, and which is exactly what we're seeing in Minnesota this year.
Definitely. Maybe out.
I just think it's worth saying that Will Rijkaard, the Vikings kicker, had uncharacteristically quite a bad game. I mean, I know he missed one from 57, but I'm talking about the doink from about, was it 35, 36?
34 yards, yeah.
Mm.
No, it was 43 yards.
And that would have been quite a big one because it would have made it a 5-point game instead of a 2-point game, which would have changed the dynamic a bit.
Well, there was a donk and a half. I love the donk.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if he added a microphone into those bloody things with a subwoofer, but oh my god, they make such a noise when you hit them.
And I know it was offside, so they got 5 yards, but he did miss that 55-yard attempt.
Yeah, true, very true. You say that. You say Sam Darnold, he's a good quarterback and he's playing well, but weapons: Justin Jefferson, Jordan Ellison, T.J. Hawkinson, and Aaron Jones. It's his 4 weapons.
Yeah, they're all great players.
Exactly. Just like what you boys had last season when you had a Kittle, CMC, Debo, Ayuk, and then John Dennings backing him up. This is what they've got in Minnesota. It is like San Fran in the Northwest.
Yeah.
Northeast, Central North.
I said before the show, and controversially, you guys all want the Lions, but I want to see Minnesota win the Super Bowl.
As long as they keep their defense, keep doing dances. Because this week it was from High School Musical, apparently.
Yeah, I love that. If I had High School, Pump Rock, had White Chicks in London, they did Parent Trap.
Yeah, it's silly. Absolutely brilliant. The Commanders completed the NFC playoff pieces with not quite, sorry, almost completed the AFC picture, the NFC pictures with a 30-24 win over the Atlanta Falcons. Although it's looking very difficult for the Falcons to get into the playoffs now. So they are a game back. Gentlemen, how many points are Detroit going to put on you tonight?
34.
I'm going to think, and San Francisco won't hit double figures.
34-9, I think.
Yeah.
34-9. 34-9. Mike's going to put on that one.
I don't think we're even going to score a touchdown.
No, it's going to be field goal.
Is Ben Johnson putting his cards on the table going, pick me as your head coach?
Hopefully Ben Johnson is looking at the Niners squad thinking, I'm going to be your coach next year.
Licking his chops like.
Yeah, but they don't go from OC to OC. They go OC head coach, don't they?
No, I want us to fire Shanahan and Ben Johnson to be our head coach next year. That is genuinely what I want.
No, I want Ben Johnson.
Boys.
It's not going to happen.
You go to a good team. You won't go to either of you.
That is what. It's not going to happen because we're not going to fire Shanahan. But I would love Ben Johnson to be head coach of the 49ers next year.
Most definitely. Right. I'm not going to do it this week because we've got a Thursday show this week. I would have gone players of the week, but I'm going to make you send me a text message and give me your players of the week, and we'll try tweet them out tomorrow for our usual poll. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Just quickly, Ollie, I just want to say one thing. I will be on the Fancy Game Day app for the 49ers game tonight, putting on a little. And don't forget, if you use our little sponsorship code, our little code THIRD, to get your £7.50 bonus.
I was going to say that.
How seamless, wasn't it? Absolutely seamless.
Yeah, as always, ladies and gentlemen, this episode will be downloadable to your listening devices tomorrow, whether it's Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you get your podcast from. We'll be back in the new year, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be in the new year.
Yeah. Thursday.
Until then, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much for tuning in. Happy New Year and stay safe.